Hi all, it's Murray from Venture Residential again. This is going back to one of the first steps of systemising and processing the business, something that I'd done, like I said, last week or the week before, which is actually writing out the job roles and explaining to you guys what roles that we have and responsibilities that each individual has within the roles, because this question has come up quite a lot. I've had some really good kind of feedback messages and stuff about these videos, and people asking, so in more detail, what kind of roles have you guys got available? What way have you structured the business, and roles and responsibilities are there for certain individuals? Now, I'm doing this video for people that are like myself and going through the process or about to start the process, or one day will start the process, because not everyone thinks about systemising or putting processes in place in their business whilst they're in their business and it runs. So it's when you get to a certain point you think, well, I want to be out, or I want to step back, so I don't want to be doing the job all day every day, and so at that point you'll look at putting processes in. So what our job roles are suitable to us, and I appreciate each business runs differently and some things work for some and some things don't work for others. So what works for us though, we've got an admin / apprentice. And the slash is because it could spin off into two separate roles at some point, because the apprentice, they might then go on to be a negotiator, for example, and we might say at that point, well, do you know what, we can either hire another apprentice if it's possible, or we can employ a part-time administrator. So their roles are pretty much doing a lot of the front end stuff, so answering the phones. Right now it's booking and viewings and stuff like that, but if there's a neg, then neg would do that part of it. But it's answering the phones, putting the property onto the market once the value has come back with the details, creating the cloud-based files, so our digital files, tagging up keys, scanning in documents, and just doing general admin stuff, as well as kind of shielding the property managers from answering the phone so much, because the property managers are relatively busy, so the last thing they want to be doing is booking in viewings when someone calls in. But like I say, that job role can be split off at any stage. So right now we've got an admin apprentice doing almost being the valuer's right hand, so the paperwork, like I say, booking in the viewings, registering applicants, etc. Then we've got a valuer / neg. So again, it's a job that can be split off once the valuer does too much, or is too busy for the valuer to start to be registering viewings all the time, dealing with the offers, etc. Right now they do pretty much literally all the front end appointments, so they're doing all the valuations, all the viewings, tying up all the offers, agreeing terms with the landlord verbally, writing out the offer sheet. And also like general like business generation stuff. So that is what our front end, that's a valuer / neg role. That is kind of what they do. Then we've got property manager. So the property manager, we'll be hiring another one. We're kind of capping it at 125 properties each. So each property manager will have their portfolio of landlords that they deal with, and if there's multi-landlords, they all go to one person. This was kind of flow that I was thinking in my head, and it's better for client experience. So landlords going to one person, having a relationship with one person, tenants going to one person, having a relationship with that one person as well, and having that kind of trust. I mean, you want all your clients, landlords and tenants, to trust the person that's dealing with their property to get the job done, and by giving that responsibility to one person, so you are in charge of the referencing of the tenant. So once the letter's been agreed and the offer's been accepted, etc., you're in charge of referencing the tenant. We do it via Good Lord, so it's more inputting the information into Good Lord. Organising the inventory. They will be doing the inventory, so they'll have an iPad, they'll do the inventory, they'll get a real good understanding of the property. So in their time managing the property, they'll know it a lot better than anyone else. So if there is any maintenance issues, etc., the property manager can deal with it more effectively, because they've seen the property, they know what it's like. They'll be in charge of the inspections and doing the inspections, the gas safeties, EPCs and stuff when they run out of date, getting all booked in. They'll be in charge of putting any invoices on. We use PayProp, so putting the invoices on PayProp for their properties. Again, that when we do get someone in just to do the finance side of stuff, then that won't be the property manager's role. But for now, it is. They'll be in charge of if for example there's rent increases, a tenant's not paying, a tenant isn't paying, so chasing up the arrears for their tenants. Because the way I see it, if there's quite a good relationship there built from the start, then they can kind of have that trust to be able to just call up and have a frank, general conversation, straight up, this is the situation. But again, that's something that when we do have someone in literally just doing finance and accounts, that's going to be their role, but right now it's a property manager's role. So insurance renewals for landlords and just general managing the property from once the letter's agreed until there's a checkout. They are dealing with pretty much everything, and then once the tenant's moved out, it then goes back to the valuer / neg to go reappraise it if it needs reappraising, or put it back onto the market and start the viewings again, and then that cycle will kind of go full circle. And then we have a manager / accounts, and again it's going to be spun off at some point. Inevitably we're going to grow to a point where the manager can't do the accounts as well, so we'll employ an accounts person. But their job role at the moment is generally manage the office. Anything that gets escalated, so maintenance that is escalated as quite either contractors being difficult, landlords being difficult, tenants being difficult, and it needs a bit of authority to come in and step in and say, right, X, Y, and Z, whatever they need to say. Manage the staff, train the staff, pay the landlords. Because we use PayProp, it's a very simple system to pay the landlords. It doesn't take long. It takes about half, depending on how good the portfolio is, half an hour to an hour a day. They're also in charge of looking at new systems, implementing new systems, rent guarantee claims, making sure that our contractors are all compliant and we've got all the documents for all the contractors, business generation, networking, and just generally being that knowledge in the office when there's an issue. Someone like the property managers and negs, apprentice can go to and say, I need help, and just generally being a manager, I guess. So right now we've got 4 roles, but the 4 roles will inevitably be split off into 7 or 8 roles. But we're not at that point yet. Some people are at that point, and this will help you guys. But whilst the business isn't so big, people will have to do jobs that they would usually have to do in corporate environments. So, and the staff know that as well.